Hello, welcome to the Westhost FAQ videos. My name is Reed, a Level 2 technician at Westhost, and today we are going to look at how to configure Outlook for your new cPanel email account. After you have set up your email account in cPanel, if you click on the More drop-down menu, you will see two options, Access Webmail and Configure Email Client. We will look at accessing webmail in another FAQ video. For now, please click on Configure Email Client. In the Mail Client configuration window, you will see the Manual Settings option, which contains all of the settings you need to configure Outlook properly. First, we will need to open Outlook. If you have not opened Outlook before, or if you have not previously configured email accounts in Outlook, it should automatically launch the Account Creation Wizard. If you have previously set up email accounts in Outlook, and you are using Outlook 2010, you will need to go to File, Info, and Add Account. If you are using Outlook 2007, you will need to go to Tools, Account Settings, and click the New button. Here you should see a window that looks a lot like the window I have now. If you are using Outlook 2003, you will need to go to Tools, Email Account, Add a new email account, and select your server type. Westhost offers both POP3 and IMAP servers. Then click Next. At this point, you should see a window that resembles the manual configuration window you will see in a few moments. If you are comfortable setting up your own email from here, you are welcome to stop the video and continue on your own. If you would prefer to wait for me to catch up to where you are, it will only be a few minutes wait. In Outlooks 2010 and 2007, in the field marked Your Name, please type your name as you would like to see it in the From field on outgoing emails. In the email address field, you will need to enter it exactly as you did in your cPanel. If you would like to copy and paste it from cPanel, that will work just fine. In the next two fields, we will need to enter our password. This is where it comes in handy to have it already pasted into a notepad or another text editor, so you can simply copy and paste it without worrying about typos. At this point, you can click Next, and Outlook will automatically try to determine the correct settings for your email account. This may or may not work. If it does, great, you're done. If not, you will need to select the Manually Configure Server Settings or Additional Server Types radio button, then click Next. In the Choose Service window, you will need to select Internet Email, as that is the service that Westhost offers, and click Next. For Outlook 2007 and 2010, your name and your email address should already be pre-populated from the previous window. In Outlook 2003, you will need to enter the information into both of these fields. Again, your name should be as you want to see it in your outgoing emails, and your email address will need to be exactly as you entered it into your cPanel. In Outlook 2003, you have already selected your server type, but in Outlooks 2007 and 2010 you will need to do that now. Again, Westhost offers both POP3 and IMAP services. You would select POP3 if you want to store your emails on your computer rather than on the server. This is good if you never need to check your emails anywhere but that computer. There is a way with POP3 to store the messages on the server so they can be checked from multiple locations, but we will not cover this in this FAQ video. You can look at your Outlook help documentation for information on how to do this. You would select the IMAP server if you want to store your messages on the server, allowing you to check them from multiple locations. The caveat to this is if you delete an IMAP email from the server on one device, it will have been deleted for all devices that check this email account, so keep that in mind when choosing which server to use. In this instance, we will use the POP3 server. For the incoming and outgoing servers, we will refer again to your cPanel. For incoming mail without an SSL connection, you will just use mail.yourdomain. If you do need SSL for your incoming email, you will simply use your server name. In this instance, I will not be using an SSL certificate for my incoming email, so I will use mail.mydomain. This is the same for the outgoing email. If you do not need SSL, simply use mail.yourdomain. If you do need SSL, you will use your server name. Next, we will enter our username. which again needs to be copied from cPanel, as the Westhost cPanel usernames do not follow the normal naming convention. At this point, we are ready to enter our password. Here again, this comes in handy if you have it already in a notepad or another text editor. You will want to leave the Remember Password checkbox checked unless you want to enter your password every time you send and receive email. Please do not check the Require Logon using Password Authentication option, as it is not required. In order to send email successfully through the Westhost servers, we will need to change some of the default outgoing mail server settings. To do that, please click the More Settings button and go to the Advanced tab. For the incoming mail server, if you are not using Secure Mail, your port should be either 110 or 143, depending on whether you chose POP3 or IMAP. If you are using Secure Email, those will be ports 995 for POP or 993 for IMAP. For the outgoing mail server, without SSL, you will use port 2525. If you are using SSL, you will use port 465. Where I am not using SSL, I will use port 2525. Both of these outgoing server ports require that we authenticate to the outgoing mail server. To do that, go to the Outgoing Server tab and select the box that says My Outgoing Server Requires Authentication. Where we copied and pasted our logon information for the incoming mail server into Outlook, we are fine to leave the default setting of Use Same Settings as my incoming mail server. Then click OK. At this point, you can test your account settings manually, or you can click Next and Outlook will test them automatically for you. If you do test the settings yourself, I suggest you uncheck the box that says Test Account Settings by clicking the Next button. Otherwise, you will end up testing your settings twice. In this case, I will go ahead and click Next, and Outlook will test my settings for me. Once your settings come back with green check marks, you can close the window and then click Finish. If any of the tests come back unsuccessful, you may want to go back through this video again to make sure nothing was missed. You may also want to double check the spelling of your email address, username, and password. Remember, these are all case sensitive and should be entered exactly as they were in your cPanel. Once everything passes, you are ready to start using your email. Once again, I am Reed with Westhost, and thank you for choosing Westhost, and have a great day.